Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where today we are taking a look at, I believe, the latest knife to come out of Sencut. And all this one did is reaffirm what I've said before when it comes to the best possible knives you can get under 50 bucks in terms of that good, fidgety, crisp action and fit and finish and just a good design. Sencut, man. Sencut is it. It really is. Under 50 bucks, I don't think anyone's doing better than them. And this one here is none other than the Sencut Arc Blast. Now, before I go any further into this review, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. Now, let's take a look at some overall specs on this knife right here. We have an overall length coming in at 7.07 inches, a blade length at 2.98 inches, and a blade thickness at a slightly thinner than average 100 thousandths. Blade material on this guy, 9CR, you probably won't be able to see it. There it is, 9CR18 MOV. I feel like a lot of people are a little happier to see this over D2. I've said before, though, when it comes to these knives at this price point, 9CR18 MOV or D2, I'll take whatever they give me. They both work fine. We have a drop point style blade with a hollow grind and a handle length coming in at 4.09 inches. Handle thickness on this one is 460 thousandths with aluminum scales, a button lock, a user of a right or left hand tip up carry. A weight coming in at a rather light 2.96 ounces. This is an in-house design from Sencut, which I think is also important to note here. There are some really good in-house designs coming out of WE knives altogether, whether it be WE or Civivi or Sencut. As you guys know, all three of those are basically sister companies, or Civivi and Sencut are all under the WE knives brand. Or owned by the WE knives brand. But yeah, this is just another great design for a budget knife, for a knife that comes in at $46.75. This is a really good design. And it hits on all the normal things we talk about when it comes to Sencut, but there are a couple things that I think could make this one a little bit better. Nothing too crazy. We'll talk about that as we go through the review. But let's also do some size comparisons here, because this is a really nice knife for anyone that needs to stay under that 3-inch limit with that 2.98-inch blade. That's a really nice thing for a lot of people, and we'll compare it to some other 3-inch blades. Let's take a look at Civivi first, compare those. This is a really good comparison here. The Civivi that I can't remember the name of right now. It starts with a Q. Cubit. The Civivi Cubit. And the Civivi Altus. So two other fantastic button locks coming out of the Civivi name. And I'm telling you guys, from my experience, I've handled a ton of knives. You know this. The quality of button lock action between Sencut and Civivi is the exact same. The only difference between the Civivi and Sencut knives is the design, the materials, obviously. But in terms of the action and the fit and finish, Sencut hits just as hard in all those areas as good as Civivi does. It's so impressive. And a couple knives outside of the Civivi and Sencut brand. Here's one, the Vosted Corgi, which I wanted to put this on the size comparison table just so I could, for once, pronounce the name Corgi right. I always call it, Corgi, good Lord. I always call it the Corgi, and everyone's like, it's Corgi with a soft G. I was like, okay, so that's the Corgi. Yeah, the Corgi. And we also have the Kaiser Drop Bear here, which is also one fantastic EDC. But as you can see, really nice size comparison to all these knives here. So you know what we're getting now. There is no question of just what size this knife is. It's a really nice EDC size, and it's a really nice blade here. Now this blade, I would say, it looks good, whatever you want to call it. I kind of get like modified sheep's foot vibes from this too. I don't know if I'm convinced that it's a drop point. What do you guys think? Is it a drop point or is it a modified sheep's foot? I really feel like it's a little more of a modified sheep's foot. Just me, who knows? But yeah, let me know in the comments. But they have it listed as a drop point, so we'll go with that. A very nice looking drop point blade with a hollow grind that is fantastic. The grind on these blades are just phenomenal for the price. We are looking at a behind the edge of 16 thousandths. And like I said before, the hollow grind here, it gets thin, it stays thin for, yeah, for a $46 knife. Really stinking good. The one thing that I think would make this particular model a little better is that there is no jimping on the spine. And I get that, you know, to put those jimping notches in there takes time and that's money. And when you have a knife this good and this affordable, every little thing you do to it, whether you're making it in China or whether you're making it in the US, that equates to time, that equates to money. So I kind of see they're trying to do as little as they can to minimize the time. So, you know, to really, you know, to give us those price points that are really good. $46.75 for this is one fantastic price. But there are some things you kind of have to sacrifice. Maybe, you know, maybe no jimping. Things like the pocket clip. It's, you know, it's not the best pocket clip, but it works just fine. We'll get to that here more in just a second though. But thumb studs that work just great. They are placed just right. No issues there. A nice slicey tip. Look at that. Laser beam for a tip. Laser beam for a blade, really. This is really a super slicey blade. When it comes to what we have here, the whole SendCut branding, I don't hate it, but I would definitely prefer that they just, like, get rid of the SendCut and just put that logo under the thumb stud. I feel like that would look a lot better because everyone already knows it's a SendCut. Or yeah, maybe something else, maybe like just I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of a little more billboarding than I want on this knife, but I still, again, for $46.75, I wouldn't let that really hold me off, keep me from buying it. But I think they could just do a little better job of minimizing that branding when they come out with such great designs. You don't want a beautiful knife like this to be overshadowed by unnecessary blade branding. Plunge grind on this is as good as you can get. Nice and thin behind the edge. Decent little sharpening choil. So yeah, really nice work there. And the handle for me is just enough for a full 4-finger grip. I don't really feel cramped, but I don't have any extra room. Like, the handle disappears when I stay under here. And this area up here can be used as a choil. It's not bad, but I wouldn't consider it a full finger choil. It's more of kind of like that fine little choil for just a little bit of a pinch up and grab it. I wouldn't just go wrapping my whole index finger around because there's not enough room for that. But the regular handle, kind of like that hammer grip position, there's enough room for a full 4-finger grip. It's really nice. And I think anyone with slightly smaller hands than me, so if you have small to medium hands, I do have, like, I would consider them large hands, not really large hands, but if you have medium or small hands, you're going to love this knife. I guarantee it in terms of ergos. It's going to feel really, really good. This little area right up here feels really nice and secure, and there's just that little bit of swell back there in the handle, so just the handle shape in general. It really does sit in your hand very nice. And if you don't like this pocket clip like I do, because I really don't like this pocket clip, but again, I'm not going to bash it hard because, like I said, for $46.75, you have to make some sacrifices. But if you don't like this, you can get the aftermarket clip from Civivi, SendCut. It's from the whole brand there. It's on Amazon. You can get it, stick it right there, and it would look a lot better, in my opinion, with that milled titanium clip. That would be perfect. But yeah, very nice, solid handle. I like how SendCut puts the extra standoff back here. Some companies don't do that. They just put like a standoff like here and here and then one up here. And that's not bad, but I like having that one more like a third of the way up the handle because that helps reduce any possible flex. Not that there would be a lot of flex with the aluminum handle, but it's just a nice space to where it helps disperse the squeeze or any pressure that would come on the handle. Just helps make that handle a little stronger. So I always like seeing that. And the action on this thing, it's phenomenal. For a button lock, you're not going to find many button locks with better action than this, whether you're spending $250 or $50. It's just really, really good. There's literally no blade wiggle on the detent, so there's no like detent lash or wiggle like you see with some other button locks, and just crisp, flies right out. Middle finger flick is good, as well as the thumb flick. So it's solid. It is so solid. Typical Sencut greatness in terms of the action. And, you know, if everyone's on here like, oh, he's just talking up Sencut again, well, believe me, if you handle a lot of knives under $50, you'll know why I'm talking it up. And if you're like, oh, well, they just send you the knife for free, you're just talking it up for that. Well, guys, I got news for you. Just about every knife is sent to me for free. I'm not bragging. I'm just laying out the facts. I have no real reason to talk this up. I have an Amazon link that's going to make me like very, very small percentages. So I'm not in it to make a lot of money. I'm in it to give you guys my opinion and just what I really think of these knives. And Sencut really does they knock it out of the park. I mean, I compare it to everything. And at this price point, it doesn't get any better. Whether you're getting this Arc Blast or another more recent Sencut, whether it be the Glide Strike or the Serene. The Glide Strike and Serene are also two of my favorites. But this Arc Blast right here is fantastic. If you're looking for a knife right under 3 inches and you want some real good, enjoyable button lock action, there's 4 different colors. I think there's 2 black blade versions and then 2 satin blade versions. Yeah, really, really good stuff here. Let me know what you guys think of the Sencut Arc Blast, and let me know so far what is your favorite Sencut from the whole offerings they have. I feel like there's a lot out there now. I think a lot of people have opinions, and I want to hear them. So let me know your favorite Sencut. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and until the next one, I'm out.